Can Zeke deke again? Well, it's the coach. This is the 2018 season, and you've got it tuned to EA Sports. Coming up, Ezekiel Elliott, fresh off 100 yards a week ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying, fly, Eagles, fly, as they get ready to match up with the Dallas Cowboys. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They coming off their very first loss of the year, suffered a week ago.
Yeah, it will not be a perfect season, but I'm interested to see how they bounce back now that they know that chasing the 1972 Dolphins is out the window.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they come in off the very rare... And they'll run it here. And it'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And they get 14 yards there and a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8. Shotgun now for Wentz. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Dallas Goedert is tied in over the middle. And he's taken down inside the 30. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
I got kicked out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations. But a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Well, enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Now they try the right side here. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Wentz going to go on 4th down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. He couldn't get the ball away on 4th and goal. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. Sean Lee, the linebacker, able to get a hand. Throwing on 1st is Wentz. And he comes back with one complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Wentz now on 1st down. And complete to Zach Ertz. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Wentz now to throw. Ertz over the middle. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, a 22. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Wentz will try again on 2nd down. That is caught at the 7. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. Now Wentz. The quick slant caught. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding offense.
Down in this one, they needed that score, but they'll have to hold at least for the time being.
You're exactly right. Points that they had to have. As you said, they have to regroup now and see if they can get them another way.
Here's Wentz to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
And that is out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up in the Steel City, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, where it was the visiting Panthers who were able to come in and get one on the road. Cam Newton, sharp in the victory, as his guys get back within a game of 500. We'll stay in the AFC North as we head over to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they were winners in that ball game over the visiting New Orleans Saints. Jeff Driscoll, strong in the victory, as his guys looked better than a team that had won just one game coming in. And finally, Monday Night Football. It's the Chiefs and Rams from down in Mexico City. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His guys have a 2-touchdown lead as we hand it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Welcome, everyone.
Come on now, come on now, let's go. That boy's got four down. Here, sit.
Wentz now on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
On first down, Wentz. And this will be incomplete. Sean Lee, the linebacker, able to get a hand in coverage.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
He mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man out of now in space.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Once again here on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that they're very many trash.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great effort there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score. That's a score. Working from the gun, Wentz. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Sean Lee, the linebacker, able to get a hand in coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now Wentz. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot in what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on second and goal.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
He'll get it up the middle. A very valuable 9-yard pickup, and now they're set up a little better here for third and goal.
Well, sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half, you're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
Man, not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the fourth quarter. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal.
120.
It's a sneak. It's Wentz. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Carson Wentz with his 14th. From the gun, it's Wentz. And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Throwing now is Wentz.
I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Mike Wallace, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
All right, Captain. It's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodged 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on 3rd and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you kind of run out of your running plays, fire another one into the end zone.
Me. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. And incomplete here, so a little razzle-dazzle on that one, but they couldn't hook up, and it's 3rd down. Back to throw. And now another one thrown incomplete. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. They'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it was real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Taco Charlton in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. He'll look to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Now they do indeed get the timeout, so all is not lost. They'll have a chance for one final heave to the end zone. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down.
On the ball.
One final try now for Wentz. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen?
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a man back for a 15th NFL season. Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants take on Carson Wentz and the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. With that, let's get up to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. We're standing by for the call are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Just a short time ago, these Philly fans in full roar as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. Pyrotechnics ablaze. They're set to go as their Eagles will match up with the New York Giants. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games. On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage.
Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. As we get a peek at the number 2 overall pick from the 2016 draft, standing at 6'5", Carson Wentz.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stand an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. The numbers for him from a week ago, 17 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, this is where it becomes a challenge for the offensive coordinator. He's got a bell cow at tailback right now, number 3 in the league in rushing, within shouting distance of the lead. But at the same time, if the passing game is open, he's got to take advantage of that too.
Josh Morrow on the stop. Quickly now, a look at the Eagles' offensive starters.
Throw on your shades, throw on your sunglasses. We're about to shine a little spotlight on Golden Tate, who comes off of 4 straight seasons with 90 or more catches. He's a guy that maybe doesn't get put in the category of elite receiver, but when you look at his production overall and how he's used in their offense, wide receiver, slot back, take some plays at running back, he's a threat every time the ball's in his hands, especially after the catch.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Tackle made that time by B.J. Hill. Time to look at the defensive starters for the New York Giants. They enter this one down in the 26th position in the NFL against the run.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
And past the 30, down to about the 27. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain, too.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Let's go.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And he'll get this down only to the 18. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
His throw caught right around the 6. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. A great play there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
And he's got his man on the out route. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. Give him 8 yards. There's still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
I like the look that they just showed there. When you come out in a passing formation, spread things out a little bit, makes it really hard to cover the middle field, doesn't it? Because you got to go out to the perimeter and cover those guys.
Yep, exactly. Got some good blocking, too. Helped him pick up the first. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Come on now, come on now, let's go. Sit.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about it.
And he can't get away from the pressure the Giants get there. Olivier Vernon in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. They'll go for it. It's Wentz. And that is going to be incomplete. The Eagles unable to convert. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on Here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. And they'll run it here. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. Shotgun now for Wentz. He's going to go for a big play downfield. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. They give him a gain of 38.
That's an excellent read right there. Saw cover one. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting. And he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
Let's go. Great.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Michael Thomas on the stop.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. It'll be a pickup of only a yard. Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for New York. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return, and the Eagles will have the football at the 20-yard line. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And they'll go on the ground. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Hang in there now. Hang in
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Eagles in possession of the football and leading this one as we get ready to start the final quarter. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. At 5 yards on the play there, it's a drive will continue.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And he's taken down inside the 30. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. And they'll run it here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold them up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. They'll give it to him up the middle. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. This is 3rd and goal. And this Giants defense, they have withstood the test thus far. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's going to go backward. They get the Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
that.
Super toe.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd down and 12. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. They'll get 11, but still a little... And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Philadelphia, they just keep on rolling as they move to 9-2 with a win here. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Washington Redskins come to town. Meanwhile, for the Giants, their luck may have run out as they fall to 4-7 now in the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home.
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a healthy Carson Wentz and the world champion Philadelphia Eagles take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Obviously, they do everything big here in Dallas, and the introduction of the Cowboys, no exception. They're set for football in Big D as their guys will do battle with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
Hang in there now.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 18 carries, 74 yards.
Well, this is where it becomes a challenge for the offensive coordinator. He's got a bell cow at tailback right now, number 3 in the league in rushing, within shouting distance of the lead. But at the same time, if the passing game is open, he's got to take advantage of that, too.
It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's not going to get the first. I don't even think he made it back to the line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the number 1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
We'll see what his offense can do. Sean Lee, the Pro Bowler, there for the tackle. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to. Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety?
And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Sean Lee with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. They do go for it. It's Wentz. And it is incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board. Back to the air on 2nd down. Wentz. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll take us to the end of the first quarter. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Wentz now on 1st down. He's going to float this one deep right side. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because...
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
But this is where leadership...
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And he'll...
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a healthy Carson Wentz and the world champion Philadelphia Eagles take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime, but kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. So the Cowboys will punt it on 4th down. As on is the veteran Chris Jones to kick it away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. And they'll run it here. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago: 18 carries, 74 yards.
Well, this is where it becomes a challenge for the offensive coordinator. He's got a bell cow at tailback right now, number 3 in the league in rushing, within shouting distance of the lead. But at the same time, if the passing game is open, he's got to take advantage of that, too. That's
going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
From the gun on third down, Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up third downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I'm guaranteeing you it started in the offseason. Third down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. Ertz over the middle. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Brandon, unless my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, that's the 2nd time they've gone to him here in this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Let's go.
To throw is Wentz. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he'll finally be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, he did everything but get him in the end zone there, but now they're set up golden opportunity. Strong opening drive, and they're knocking on the door.
And the way that they did it, now look where they are on the field. All right, this is naturally set up for a running play, isn't it? But with his ability to throw the football, his accuracy on this drive, you might want to think about a pass play in this situation.
Interesting. Time to find out. He'll get it up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground.
And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. A great effort there. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6.
Well, they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on here to punt it away. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. And I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Come on now.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
An Eagle first down, Wentz to Ertz.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now a handoff looking right. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
They'll have a first down past the 40 and all the way up to the 45-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. From midfield, here's Wentz. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs. Wentz going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more on that one and another first down. Throwing on first is Wentz. Bird shrugs him aside. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. Again, it's Wentz. And he's got it. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great play there. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, It almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Hang in there now.
And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital, where it was the Giants who were able to come away with the road victory. Eli Manning, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. From there, we head all the way out west to see what's happening with the LA Chargers. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Good victory. Finally, let's get to Silicon Valley to check at home at Levi Stadium. And they've got the lead over the visiting Denver Broncos. The 49ers still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. In our game, it's been Carson Wentz with a strong first half. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators. Brandon Gott.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. The Eagles on third down. Can't be any better than a perfect 6 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 2. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down. So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
Wow, that one took some guts. If this doesn't work, you're handing them incredible field position, but this head coach is undaunted, and he makes the call to go for it, and I'll be darned if they don't get the first down.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And they'll run it here. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Wentz now to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys' side of the field. A big play there for the Eagles on 3rd down. 41 yards. So after the big play, look at this. All the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the third quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. They've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? Now Wentz on the bootleg. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 19 on the year. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bifema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been flat getting it done. 8 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Now Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And on the ground they go with the running back. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And they'll go on the ground. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Let's go.
And they'll run it here. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. They'll give it to him up the middle. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball.
Wentz with a kneel down, and that will be the final act of this game. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Eagles, the win pushes their record now to 11-2 on the year. And they'll have another road date next week with the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for Dallas, they dropped their 7th game on the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
wristwatch is like a brake light, and you can get it right on your gravesite. So tell me something I don't know. $50 pizza when I'm eating in Soho. I heard that you in love with the stuff in your in them. Hate me, they hate me. What should I do? Keep getting money. It's funny, I was just like you. Super Bowl Sunday. With the facts. Security guard told Kevin Hart to relax. Oh! Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it came in the chokehold. Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Drive home, came in the chokehold. I reinvented myself, they sorta hated it. I reinvented myself, upgraded it, traded in the Jews, got a couple new ones. Upstairs and down the balcony. These OCs, the alchemy. Ain't nothing crazy like the city in the summertime. So when it's winter, I still be on my summer grind. Handle your business. Handle your business. Loyal and honor, don't break no bro codes. Rose, max with the rose gold. Whoever counted me out, they don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drive home, gave in the chokehold. Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drive home, gave in the chokehold. They call a podcast Poppy. Kinkos, I see they tryna copy. Diamonds in the chains, bust down wrists. And you ain't never seen anything like this. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drive home, gave in the chokehold. Chillax, 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 chillax. Chillax, 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 chillax. Chillax, 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 chillax. Chillax, 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 chillax. Relax, 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 relax. Oh, relax, 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 relax. Oh, relax, 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 relax. Oh, relax, 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 relax. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drive home, gave in the chokehold.
you.